Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai, Barakata Yahweh, Barakata Yahweh Shai. All praise unto Yahweh Shai, Shai, Warakakadash. Double honors unto the apostles of great millstone, and honest true brothers that pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. So this video here, this is a video going into the ICBM nuclear missiles. And I'm going to read this article here. This was posted by a brother within the chat. And it says, the threat of war, dangerously close, Parliament reports. This was posted 2 days ago. And I've done videos like this in the past, and I shall continue to do videos like this in the past, because one of the ultimate prophecies about this place that we're living in, okay, this new society that we're living in, is the destruction by way of the ICBM nuclear missiles, which Yahweh Shai Rakakadash is going to bring onto this place. And that's really our hope, man. Okay, you know, you go to the job, you see Esau in his pride, he's talking down at you, okay, you go through all kinds of situations, you know, your money ain't right, or you realize really it's a system rigged to Edomites, and in reality, you know, you're never going to be on the top, and they give you coons, you know, one or two individuals out there so that they can point to and say these are the guys that are doing it, but really those are puppies, and you realize there's no escaping this system. Then our only hope is for a new system to be established, okay? Because this is likened unto a game where, you know, the refs are cheating, okay? The scoreboard's been tampered with, all right? You know, every time the opponent scores 1 point, it's like they're scoring 50. Okay, this is likened unto that game. We're a million down, so we need the whole rules of the games to be changed. And one of the ways that the rules of the games is going to be changed is that, as opposed to wickedness being uplifted, like how wickedness is uplifted out here within this society that we're living in now, righteousness is going to be established. And that's when Yahweh Shai is going to return and set up the throne of King David, set up the throne for his son Yahweh Shai, which really I should have said first, and then set up the king. And Yahweh Shai subsequently going to set up the tabernacles of David and the men of David, the house of David, because the scriptures within the book of Amos, the 9th chapter, do speak about the house of David, man. Okay, so this thing about this kingdom being established, man, it's a beautiful thing, but one of the major things that needs to be happening, okay, when you've got these Christians speaking about the kingdom of heaven, well, you need to understand that the kingdom of heaven, number one, is to be established on earth. That's number one, that's key. Okay, and number two is what? Is that the kingdom of heaven needs it to where this existing kingdom, okay, needs to be destroyed before the kingdom of heaven can be set up. You can't have two rulers sit on one ruling seat. Okay, you can't have the Lord Rothschild and his contemporaries sit and have a council with King David, because they're representing two opposite spectrums. Well, I suppose of a spectrum, because, you know, was it the one end of the dark end of the darkness and light exist on the same spectrum? So, however you want to word it, you should be able to understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you can't have two opposites coexisting and establishing an empire. You know, right? The scripture says, if can two walk together lest they be agreed? And it also says, if the wicked walk hand in hand with the righteous, they shall not altogether go unpunished, roughly paraphrasing. So without much further ado, let me go into the article. Hopefully that intro to the video made sense and gives you context to what I'm about to say. Essentially, it's that you can't have the kingdom of heaven until the kingdom of hell, because hell is played out on earth, and this is the hell kingdom, man. You got birds falling out the sky. Okay, you got, you know, fish beaching themselves. So this is the kingdom, is likened unto the kingdom of hell. Okay, if hell on earth is played out, heaven and earth is played out upon the earth, then this is going to be the most hellish kingdom that's ever existed. But in order for heaven to exist, you need to have the pre-existing kingdom to be destroyed. So it says the lack of meaningful arms control agreement is risking the creation of an arms race, of which, you know, you had the Cold War and you had the arms race then. And now you got the whole different thing popping off, okay, which is a beautiful thing in that you got nuclear weapons all over the daggone place, and everybody is trigger happy. Now, you had it to where the first and last, well, not the first and last, that's an incorrect statement, but you had it to where you had bombs dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Well, the next time we're going to have a war, that was the last time nuclear weapons were used. That was the first and the last time in the history that nuclear weapons were used. Well, guess what? This time everybody's got nuclear arms. See, that was the one country that had it. But ever since then, everybody's been up in their nuclear game, right? So it says here, raising the possibility of nuclear weapons being used. According to a parliamentary report, a combined breakdown of the diplomatic communications between countries and technologies, the risk of a nuclear strike happening is greater than at any other time since the Cold War. All right, and I've been doing articles over and over and over again going into that. Right now, we're at the precipice of World War III, and this is a real time where war could pop off at any time. All right, it says, and it really could pop off at any time, man. Okay, you got sanctions being imposed on China or Russia. They've been doing that for years. I mean, they put so much sanctions on Russia and Russia. America's put so much sanctions on Russia and China. They don't even put that stuff in the main news anymore. Okay, so if a man hurt your wallet, you're gonna want to do something about that. Now, what's really important to remember, and this is the key element to this whole scenario, is that you got American borders all over the place, and they've got them in particular regions where it's provocative. For instance, along in Poland, Latvia, Lithuania, and all of them countries there, which make up the borders of Russia. So that's a provocative move right there. Okay, along the borders, you're gonna put your the so-called enemies there, and you're calling them the aggressor, and you're putting what's known as garrisons. Is it garrisons? Okay, just along their borders, man. That's a threatening move. So, war can pop up at any time. It says, with a major non-proliferation meeting scheduled by the UN in New York next week, the committee has released a report detailing what it describes as a grave concern and is calling on the government to address the deteriorating state of the nuclear diplomacy. The Lord's International Relations Committee Chairman Lord Holwell of Guildford said, "We are now dangerously close to a world war without arms control. Agreements paving the way for a new arms race and increased nuclear weapons." So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit a few scriptures. I mean, let's go about arms race and whatever. But let's go to the end of what the Lord's going to do out here. So the book of 2 Peter's, the 3rd chapter. Okay, 2 Peter's 3 and 10. It says here, 2 Peter's 3 and 12 says, no, that's not the one. Yeah, is it that one? Yeah. 2 Peter's 3 and 12 says, 3 and 11, seeing then that all things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought you ought to be, in all holy conversation and goodliness. It says, looking for and hastening unto the coming day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with a fervent heat. So that's what we're looking forward to, because when the elements are melted with a fervent heat, bro, it's going to be sweet out here, because we're going to know that our kingdom, okay, the kingdom of the Lord, the kingdom of Yahweh, kingdom of Yahweh is going to be established. But this existing one is going to have to be melted down. The book of Daniel 2 and 44, I'll jump down a little bit. 2 and 44, it says, in the days of these kings shall the Most High set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, but it shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all of these kingdoms, and they shall stand forever. So that's like that consuming fire, man, that the Lord's gonna come with, man, right, unto the kingdom of the Edomites. Okay, he's gonna consume this existing kingdom, and he's gonna establish his one, man, and it's gonna stand forever, and it's gonna be left to the children of Israel. But a nuclear world war is a very necessary process to that. Okay, and then let me hit one more precept before I call it a day. Let's go to the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. Okay, it's Joel 3. Okay, Joel 3 and 1, it says, "For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all the nations together, and I bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and plead with my people there for my heritage, and Israel, whom they have scattered amongst the nations. So, you know, the reason you're going to have a World War III, which is going to be, you know, out there within the valley of Armageddon, at the mountain of troops, okay, the reason you're going to have that is because the persecution of the children of Israel. I mentioned a little bit about that before. Like I said, the game is rigged, right? But then there's a direct consequence of that, which that the Lord is going to jack a lot of people up, man. He's going to jack a lot of these Edomites, all of these Hamites, whatever. They're going to get jacked up because they touched the anointed of the Lord. They touched the chosen people of the Lord. And this World War III, one, is going to happen because these people are wicked as all hell. And two, okay, it's going to happen because they touched the people of the Lord. So as the Lord is gathering us into his barn, which is the kingdom of heaven, okay, or the chariots, whatever you want to call it. I believe that's dealing with the chariots, because he's going to gather you into his barn, but establish you within the kingdom. All right. He's also going to be destroying, man. Okay, issuing out judgments. Amos 9:8 says, "Behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom." This is that sinful kingdom right here, right now. "And I'll destroy from the face thereof, off the face thereof." Okay, you're talking about like something being destroyed off of the face. That's like that besom of destruction spoken about within the book of Isaiah, the 14th chapter. Okay, and it says utterly destroy. That's never happened. So this goes to show you that this scripture here is talking about now. But the 9th verse even shows you even more so that it's talking about now. "For I will utterly destroy a saving, I will not destroy the house of Jacob. Saith the Lord, for I will command, and I'll sift the house of Israel from among all nations like corn is sifted in the sieve. It shall not the least grain fall upon the earth." And how was the Lord going to destroy off the face of the earth? With these ICBM nuclear missiles. So Lord's will, that was a verification. With that, I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahweh, Bashim Yahshai, Bashim Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles, a great millstone. Ownership of us that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.